What is up, guys? Today I'm going to talk about something a little different. Mainly it's inspired by that Pantera power metal poster had back there all this time. So I'm just going to talk about my views on Pantera and what I think. And this channel is more of a thrash, power, traditional metal channel. I definitely don't care much for groove metal. I just did a video talking about genres that I like. I didn't mention groove metal. I don't hate groove metal. It's just not one of my favorites. I kind of put it in the same category as Doom, where I like some stuff, but I also I'm picky about it, okay? Like 90s overkill I can do, and I don't hate 90s Pantera. I do like some of it, but I like some of it more than others. So my first Pantera album was Vulgar Display of Power. Got that way back in the early 2000s. And I only discovered them because I remember somebody in middle school was wearing a Great Southern Trendkill t-shirt, and I remembered that's how I learned a lot of bands. I would just look at people's t-shirts and be like, okay, that's a band. A lot of bands I hated, I checked them out and I hated them. How I got my Vulgar Display of Power, though, man, I'm just really digging into my past here, past couple videos. So and I always seem to mention Columbia House. It's just like a total defunct thing now. I don't think that thing even exists anymore. But I remember my dad told me there's this deal where you can get like 12 CDs for free, but you got to buy so many after or something like that. And he's like, well, I'll let you pick out 12 CDs you want. And I'm like, oh, no way. Like, that's awesome. So I just remembered all these band t-shirts I remember from school. And yeah, let me tell you something. The 12 horrible CDs for the most part, except for a couple. The only ones that actually were worth anything. Well, no, okay, there was like 3. I got British Steel for some reason, and that my dad was telling me about Judas Priest. It was okay. I like that album now, but still not one of my favorites. I rebought White Zombie, Les Exorcisto. That's something I still have to this day, and along with the British Steel, still have that. What was the other one? Oh, yeah, and the Pantera Vulgar Display of Power. Only 3 CDs that were worth anything. The rest of them were like Stained, Incubus, not the good Incubus. Gosh, I can't even freaking remember. Just dumb stuff like that. Just a lot of like new metal sort of things. Disturbed. I don't know. I don't have any of those anymore. But so I liked Vulgar okay. I wasn't in love with it, but I liked it. I was just getting into Metallica at that time. There was just something about the low-tuned guitars and the tough guy vocals. I was more into standard tuning and playing fast. That was more what I was into at that time, not what I was getting into. But I still liked it. But anyway, I ended up getting all the other Pantera albums slowly but surely. And I remember the day I found out they had stuff in the 80s as under like hair metal stuff. It blew my mind. I wanted to hear those albums so bad. It was back in the dark days of dial-up where it was a pain to look up anything and listen to it. I think I did listen to like one track. Heavy Metal Rules. I downloaded off Projects in the Jungle, and I remember thinking, because I really wasn't into just hair metal or anything like that at the time. I didn't, but I just sit like, yeah, okay, that's weird, interesting, but I wouldn't listen to it. I like it now, but back then I was searching for heavy stuff. So I'll talk about I'll start from the beginning. So we'll start with the Glam Terra. Metal Magic. Okay. Now, as far as I know, there has never ever been a truly official copy on CD of the first four Pantera albums. I don't think. Maybe there were. I don't. I don't think there were. I know there were vinyls. I know somebody that has them. All four vinyls, originals. Pretty cool. But so Metal Magic. This album is okay. The first four albums the first three albums had Terry Lee Glaze on vocals. Seems like a cool guy. I'm actually his friend on Facebook. I follow him. He's cool. But he was just, your typical glam singer, really. This album came out in 1983. And man, you could hear anything from Kiss to Motley Crue. Kind of a Kiss ripoff on here with the totally amazing Ride My Rocket. Gotta love the sexual innuendos. Honestly, this album's got moments, but I don't love it. We gotta see. I'm looking at the reviews on Metal Archives. I don't consent. 13%. Wow. You want to talk hidden gems? Look no further. 95%. Didn't actually expect that. Metal, man. I don't know. I don't know. 4%. What is that thing? 35%. Clamterra, 35%. Funny where greatness can come from, 41%. Okay, the bottom line is it's not very well liked, except this one guy likes it pretty well. It's okay. It's not the best produced. I know Dimebag did this at his dad's studio, I believe. Production value is very, very good. Definitely not good enough for glam. But it's okay. Like, I like a few tracks pretty well. All of it's, about half of it's listenable, maybe, but look at that album cover. I mean, really? Like Catman? That's considered one of the worst album covers ever, but it's alright. I think it's fun. Projects in the Jungle. Man, this is where things start to get a little better. They're building up something here. A little bit of it's very glam, but this album tries to get a little heavier. I mean, there's actually some faster stuff. Some stuff that's a little more traditional metal, like songs like All Over Tonight. Very good song. Very Motley Crue, but very good. If it wasn't for the production, some of these songs would be better. The aforementioned Heavy Metal Rules is I actually kind of like that song. Out for Blood's not bad. Blue Light Turning Red is nothing but a solo. The song Projects in the Jungle is really good. But there's some pretty lame songs on here too, like Only a Heartbeat Away. I don't know, just stuff like that. I don't know. It's okay. Still just more interesting than anything. What? Okay, so people seem to like Projects in the Jungle a little better. Cover art is still hideous. The music, less so. 50%. A step up, 80%. Projects in the Jungle, 90%. Wait, really? Annoyingly inconsistent. Oh, yes, 65%. That's what I agree with that. I've heard much worse, 74%. I kind of agree with that as well. Awesome, no matter what anyone says, 94%. That's liking it too much. Less Kiss, more Priest equals better, 63%. Yeah, I agree with that. Then they did the next album, which, by the way, that one was 84. This one's 85. I Am the Night. Definitely a lot better, okay? There's more speed metal, more real metal. The guitar work is, it starts to get even more showy and awesome than before, but this album still is not without its bad moments. Actually got some pretty cool pictures on the back of this. For something that's not official, that's pretty neat. But Yeah, these copies ain't bad. But yeah, well, I mean, we got good tracks on here. I Am the Night's really good. Onward We Rock's a little cheesy, but I kind of like it. Down Below actually came out on the next album too. That's kind of weird. Good track. Come On Eyes, actually a pretty good song. It's totally glam, but it's not bad. Valhalla. A lot of tracks called Valhalla, but that's actually pretty good. A little more power metal than anything. But, you know, you got Hot and Heavy. It's like okay song, just really, really cheesy. Daughters of the Queen, totally just glam. I don't know. It's not bad. This one gets overall score 79%. Terry Glaze's Last Rodeo, 56%. First great album? I don't know if I call it great. It's 90%. Hot and Heavy, 95%. Really? Still glam, but getting better, 68%. Yeah, that's what I would give it. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't give it too much praise, but it's definitely got some good stuff on it. I think the production values is what really holds it back the most. Plus a couple of lame songs, but this is where it really gets good, guys. And this is where my poster flag comes into play. Power metal. Dude. Big Pantera fans probably hate me by saying this, but this is the best thing they did, in my opinion. Well, I don't know. I guess Cowboys is technically better, but this one right here is totally me. Like this is me right here. So now we get Phil Anselmo for the first time. It's the first thing he sang on, and let me tell you, man, he had a voice. I mean, he could hit the high notes like Judas Priest and still have a harsh, thrashy type of voice. He's just a perfect singer, really. So power metal gets a way better score, 89% overall. Power metal on forever, 90%. When the cat goes away, the mice come out and play, 95%. Power metal in the truest sense, 95%. Enter Phil Unscarred Anselmo, 89%. One little mediocre score. Finalizing the lineup, 65%. Lame. So, okay. This is a really well-liked album. And because it's actually real metal. It's speed metal, it's thrash, it's traditional metal. I mean, there's like 2 glammy songs on this. We'll Meet Again and Hard Ride are the only 2 kind of lame songs, and they're not the worst. I mean, they're not terrible. They're listenable. But, dude, seriously, Rock the World, total, like, Judas Priest type metal, sort of. Like, anthem-like. Power metal's pure speed metal. Over and out. Almost kind of puts me in the mind of Megadeth. Proud to Be Loud, total, like, Judas Priest type of hard rock song, very cool. Down Below on the last album, also kind of a thrashy sort of song, sort of. Death Trap is kind of a thrash song, pretty cool. The song Burn with 3 N's and exclamation point, very speed metal. And PST 88, Pussy Tight, as it's called, also very cool, and sung by Dimebag, if you can believe that, very cool. So yeah, this right here is like my favorite. I can't help it. It's yeah. Okay, and my thoughts on the rest of it. Okay, Cowboys from Hell is amazing. I don't know. It's not really a thrash album, but it comes close. Like, there's some thrashy songs on it. I'd still say it's basically groove metal. But man, the guitar playing, man, I like the albums that really show off what Dime can do with a guitar. I mean, okay, this is, you're all gonna hate me. I feel like after this album, Pantera started dumbing down their sound, going for heavier instead of more more musical. They were just going for more heavier. It worked out for them, but my personal taste, I'd rather hear some fretboard gymnastics and some cool freaking riffs, you know, like, but, and I like pretty well everything on this, honestly. Now, okay, my first Pantera album, as far as groove metal goes, this is actually really good. I'll give it that. It's not as exciting to me as Cowboys from Hell, but it sounds good. It's very heavy. There's actually some really for you know, metal like this, tough guy type metal. It's pretty like genius songwriting. Really, it works really well. I mean, it pretty much spawned a whole new generation of freaking heavy metal, you know, like bands are still ripping off Pantera, but I think like the first half of this album is better than the second half personally, but it's still pretty good. I definitely don't write it off as a bad album. No, by no means. This is where things get a little weird. Like, I don't know why this album's so popular. Oh no, I'm gonna get some hate, man. I'm waiting for the days I get some serious hate. But I've been talking a long time, making a lot of videos tonight, so I need a drink. But I think this album starts to get focused way too hard on the heavy and not enough on the clever songwriting. I just think, to me, it sounds sloppier. I know it's heavier, but it's just sloppier. And some of the songs that are just more simple are just like too simple. Like, instead of like really cool riffs, it's like a lot of like pentatonic type riffs. I don't get it. The vocals went from being like, you know, a good dynamic range of to just like being more yelling, and I don't know. It's just not my thing. I do like some tracks off here though. Strength Beyond Strength's actually pretty fun. Slaughtered's kind of fun. Shedding Skin's probably my favorite. After that, man, I don't really know. This isn't really one of my favorites, but it's popular. People like it. Great Southern Trendkill. Man, it gets even worse for me. Like, I know people like Floods and stuff like that. It's okay, but it just gets even more sloppy sound. I mean, I'm not saying that the performances aren't sloppy. It's just the approach. It's just the execution of the whole the songwriting, man. It's all heavy and just, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not going to say that it's just completely dumb or anything. It's not, but it's just not my thing, man. Like, I don't even know what to say about it, really. I just think they went too far down the path of heaviness, and I wish they could have done something, you know, a little cooler with the guitar. I don't know. God, I never took the sticker off of this. I think I've sold my Pantera CDs and rebought them over time. I just never took the sticker off. To be honest with you, this is my favorite, other than, okay, of the 90s Pantera. This is, how am I going to say this? My third favorite of the newer Pantera albums. Like, I love Cowboys. Vulgar second. This comes in third for me. I think this album actually fixes a lot of things that were wrong with the past two. It still tries to be a little too far on the heavy side, but at least the riffs are better, more interesting. There's more going on. I feel like Phil Anselmo's voice even tries to be a little more versatile on this one. Not by a lot, but a little. I mean, it even has a song that freaking SpongeBob used, Death Rattle. But for me, it still goes into that path of just going for too much heaviness. And I don't want to say there's such a thing as being too heavy, but when their focal point is just being heavy, I kind of get a little bored. That's why I like Cowboys. It's, you know, it's good melody and it's and it's good guitar playing. It's got everything. It's just, I don't know. I like multi-dimensional things, I guess, a little bit more, but this is my favorite. I guess Dimebag said that this was supposed to be kind of a culmination of everything they did through the 90s. So it was supposed to be kind of like the ultimate Pantera album. Now, even though I don't call it the ultimate, I do hear that they took a little bit of every 90s album and put it into one. I can hear that. And I totally appreciate that. But anyway, that's my view on Pantera. I like them. There's a couple albums I love, but I like them otherwise. Like, I feel like their really old stuff is too glam and too poorly produced. The newer stuff was just too much on the sloppy, heavy side. But that middle era, man, like late 80s, early 90s, that's where it's at for me. But I don't know. Just felt like talking about Pantera. I don't know. But if you like this video, like, subscribe. Till next time, stay metal.